Hello, everyone, and welcome to Speak English in the USA. I'm Alex.
And I'm Taylor. Today we're talking about something that many English learners find really challenging, having conversations with your boss at work.
That's right, Taylor. We know that talking to your boss can feel really nerve-wracking, especially when English isn't your first language.
Exactly. You want to sound professional and polite, but you're not sure what words to use.
So today, we're going to practice 6 common workplace situations. We'll show you real conversations and teach you useful phrases that will help you communicate confidently with your boss.
Perfect. Let's start with our first situation, asking your boss a question about work. Alex, can you show us how this might sound?
Hi, sure. Let me play the employee and you can be the boss. Hi, Sarah. Do you have a minute?
Of course. What's on your mind?
I have a quick question about the Johnson project. Could you clarify something for me? I'm not sure about the deadline for the first draft.
Absolutely. We need the first draft by next Friday, the 15th.
Perfect. Thank you so much for clarifying that.
Great example, Alex. Let's talk about those key phrases. First, do you have a minute? This is perfect because it's polite and shows respect for your boss's time.
Right. And I have a quick question about the project is great because it tells your boss exactly what you need help with.
Exactly. And could you clarify something for me is very professional. It sounds much better than just saying, I don't understand.
These phrases work in so many situations. You can say, could you clarify the meeting time? Or could you clarify the requirements?
Perfect. Now let's move to situation number 2, asking for time off. This is something everyone needs to do sometimes, but it can feel scary in English.
It sure can. Let me show you how to do this professionally. Taylor, you be the boss again. Hi, Maria. I wanted to ask about taking a day off next week.
Sure. What day were you thinking?
Would it be possible to take Friday off? I have a family appointment. I wanted to check with you first before making the request official.
That should be fine. Just submit the request in our system and I'll approve it.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
Nice work, Alex. So what made that conversation sound professional?
Well, first I said, I wanted to ask about taking a day off. This is polite and direct.
Right. And then you said, would it be possible to take Friday off? That's so much better than just saying, I need Friday off.
Exactly. Would it be possible? Sounds respectful. It shows you understand your boss might need to say no.
And I loved the ending. I wanted to check with you first. This shows you respect your boss and follow proper procedures.
Great point. Now let's try situation 3, giving your boss a project update. This happens all the time in American workplaces.
Yes, bosses love to hear how projects are going. Let's practice this. I'll be the employee this time. Hi, Alex. I wanted to give you a quick update on the marketing campaign.
Perfect. How are things going?
The project is going well so far. We finished the design phase last week, and now we're working on the content. We expect to finish everything by next Wednesday as planned.
Excellent. That sounds like you're right on schedule.
Yes, we are. I'll send you the final version as soon as it's ready.
Great job, Taylor. You used some really useful phrases there. I wanted to give you a quick update is perfect because it's clear and professional.
Right, and the project is going well so far gives a positive overall picture before going into details.
Exactly. And we expect to finish by next week shows you're thinking about deadlines. Bosses really appreciate that.
These phrases are so useful. You can also say, we're making good progress, or everything is on track.
Perfect. Now, our final situation might be the most challenging, reporting a problem to your boss. Nobody likes to bring bad news, but sometimes you have to.
True, but there are professional ways to do this. Let me show you. Hi, Alex. I wanted to bring something to your attention about the website project.
Okay, what's going on?
We ran into a small issue with the database connection. The good news is that we are working on a solution and our IT team thinks they can fix it by tomorrow morning.
I appreciate you letting me know. Will this affect our deadline?
No, we should still meet the original deadline. I just wanted to keep you informed.
Excellent example, Taylor. You handled that perfectly. I wanted to bring something to your attention is such a professional way to start a conversation about a problem.
Right, it sounds much better than we have a problem or something is wrong.
And I love how you said we ran into a small issue. The word small shows it's not a huge problem, and ran into sounds much more professional than got or have.
Exactly, and the most important part was we are working on a solution. This shows your boss that you're being proactive.
That's the key. Always bring solutions, not just problems. Your boss will really appreciate that approach.
Perfect. Now let's review the most useful phrases from today's episode. Alex, what were the key phrases for asking questions?
Great! Before we review all the phrases, let's practice two more important workplace situations. Situation number 5 is asking for help from your boss. This can be really difficult for many people, but it's better to ask for help than to struggle alone. Do you have a minute? I have a quick question about... And could you clarify something for me?
Absolutely, Alex. Many people worry that asking for help makes them look incompetent, but actually, good bosses want to help their team succeed. Let me show you how to ask for help professionally. I'll be the employee again. Hi, Alex. I was hoping you could help me with something.
Great. And for asking for time off?
Of course. What do you need help with? I wanted to ask about taking a day off. Would it be possible to take Friday off? I wanted to check with you first.
I'm working on the quarterly report, and I'm having some trouble with the financial analysis section. I've tried a few approaches, but I'm not getting the results I expected. Could you point me in the right direction? Perfect. For project updates?
Sure, that section can be tricky. Let me show you the template I used last quarter. We can also schedule a meeting tomorrow to go through it step by step. I wanted to give you a quick update. The project is going well so far, and we expect to finish by next week.
That would be fantastic. Thank you so much for your time and guidance. Excellent. And finally, for reporting problems?
Perfect example, Taylor. Let's break down what made that conversation successful. First, you said, I was hoping you could help me with something. This is much better than just saying, I need help. I wanted to bring something to your attention. We ran into a small issue. We are working on a solution.
Right, and I also explained what I had already tried. I've tried a few approaches, shows your boss that you're not just being lazy, you actually made an effort first. And what about asking for help? Wonderful! These phrases will help you sound professional and confident when talking to your boss.
I was hoping you could help me with something. I've tried a few approaches. Could you point me in the right direction? Exactly. And could you point me in the right direction is perfect because you're not asking your boss to do the work for you. You're asking for guidance so you can learn and do it yourself.
Great. And for discussing deadlines?
Remember, practice is so important. Try saying these sentences out loud. Practice with a friend or even in front of a mirror. I wanted to discuss the deadline. It's more complex than we originally thought. To deliver high-quality work, I believe I'll need more time.
These phrases show independence and initiative. You could also say, I could use some guidance on this, or I'm looking for your advice on the best approach. Perfect. Now let's give our listeners some homework. Alex, what should they practice this week? That's great advice. The more you practice, the more natural these phrases will sound.
Great question. First, choose 3 phrases from today's episode that you think you'll need most at your job. Write them down on a piece of paper and practice saying them out loud at least 5 times each day. Great! Now let's practice our 6th and final situation, discussing deadlines with your boss. Sometimes you might need to negotiate a deadline or explain why you might need more time.
And second, try to use at least one of these phrases in a real conversation with your boss this week. Start with something easy, like asking a question or giving a project update. The more you use these phrases, the more natural they'll become.
Thanks for listening to Speak English in the USA. Keep practicing, keep learning, and remember, you can do this. Excellent homework, Taylor. And here's one more tip. Pay attention to how your American colleagues talk to their bosses. Listen for the phrases they use and notice their tone of voice. This will help you learn even more natural ways to communicate professionally.
This is so important, Alex. You need to be honest about deadlines, but also professional. Let me show how to handle this situation. I'll be the employee. Hi, Alex. I wanted to discuss the deadline for the presentation project. That's such great advice. Remember, everyone makes mistakes when they're learning. Your boss will appreciate your effort to communicate professionally, even if you don't get it perfect the first time. See you next time.
Sure. What's your concern about the deadline? Until next time, keep speaking with confidence.
I've been working through the project requirements, and I realize it's going to be more complex than we originally thought. To deliver high-quality work, I believe I'll need an extra 3 days. Would it be possible to extend the deadline to next Friday instead of Tuesday?
I appreciate you bringing this up early, rather than waiting until the last minute. Let me check if we can adjust the timeline. Yes, Friday should work.
Thank you so much for understanding. I'll make sure to deliver excellent work by Friday.
Excellent work, Taylor. That was a perfect example of professional deadline negotiation. First, you explained the reason. It's more complex than we originally thought, which helps your boss understand this isn't about poor planning.
Right, and I connected the extra time to quality, to deliver high-quality work. This shows you care about doing a good job, not just getting more time to be lazy.
And you were specific about the time you needed, an extra 3 days. Instead of saying something vague like a little more time, being specific shows you've thought it through.
These phrases are so helpful for deadline conversations. You could also say, I want to set realistic expectations, or I'd rather ask for more time now than deliver rushed work later.
Now, before we review all our key phrases, let's talk about some important cultural tips for American workplace communication. Taylor, what should our listeners know about American work culture?
Great question, Alex. First, in American workplaces, being direct is usually appreciated, but you need to be polite at the same time. Don't be afraid to speak up, but always use respectful language like the phrases we practiced today.
Exactly. Another important point is timing. In American culture, it's better to communicate problems or concerns as soon as possible. Don't wait until the last minute. Your boss will appreciate your honesty and proactive approach.
And here's a practical tip. These conversations can happen in person or by email, but for important topics like deadlines or problems, it's often better to talk face-to-face first, then follow up with an email to confirm what you discussed.
That's excellent advice. Also, remember that your tone of voice and body language are just as important as your words. Speak clearly and confidently, make eye contact, and keep your body language open and professional.
One more important tip. Preparation is key. Before you talk to your boss, think about what you want to say. Write down the key phrases you want to use. This helps you feel more confident and speak more clearly.
Absolutely. You can even practice these conversations at home. For example, practice saying, "Do you have a minute?" or "I wanted to give you a quick update," until they feel natural. The more you practice, the easier it becomes in real situations.